Welcome back to a new video. So we finished the season. We did make the playoffs again, but as you can see on the left, our win-loss got worse. And, I have some excuses, but our pitching did get worse. Our runs scored actually got better, but obviously our runs allowed got worse as well. And we had a ton of injuries. So let's look at the injury list. This is just who currently is on there. So Tanner Bybee got hurt. He's been out for a while. Spencer Schwabenbach, he got hurt and is out for 2 more months. He's been out for a while. Our best second baseman, one of our best hitters, he's been out for a while. And then our shortstop, he's been out for a while. And we just got one of our pitchers back. Who was it? Where is he at? We'll go here so I can find him a little bit easier. Grayson Rodriguez, he was out for a while, so he just came back. This Alberto guy, he wasn't even supposed to be starting. So like, we've been kind of devastated by injuries this year, unfortunately. In general, our hitting was pretty decent. Like, we had Jordan Walker here that kind of popped off this year, and Chase DeLauder, he's kind of coming into his own. So like, we had the pieces that were there that were good. We just had to play around with so many injuries. Like Peter Hapland had to come up, Angel Gano, or however you say his name, had to come up, and we did have our really strong catching prospect come up and play well. So there are some positives to the season, but unfortunately we just had devastating amount of injuries, and so we got bounced in the first round, unfortunately. Let's look at not also 0 for 2. There we go, 1 for 3. So we'll look here, and it's like we have a guy like this. We pulled in. We just signed random people to throw in AAA to pull up as we needed, and we ended up needing a lot of people. So that's where this guy came from. But we're not going to offer him $2 million. Tanner Bybee, I feel like we just move on from him. They want $12 million. He kind of was not playing that well, and then got hurt. And in lieu of that, we can just keep someone like this Grayson Rodriguez. He's going to be a little bit better. He's still has a lot of potential. He's just hurt right now. And so we can keep Gavin again. He's been playing solid each year. And yeah, it's just a bit tricky because we just don't have the consistency of our players. And so we can look here. I don't think we're going to try to re-sign him. We'll see what kind of contract he wants. Yeah, $22 million. That's going to be a bit too rich for me. And it looks like if we go here, we are going to have to move some money around to try to get some people back. But yeah, we can let a lot of these guys go. We can offer him a minor league extension. Let him go. Let him go. Hasta luego. So a lot of these guys just are, pretty mid players. Jake Fox never really popped off or developed that well. We will offer that one guy a contract. So we're going to have to play around with their money a little bit because our owner is cheap and is not able to figure out things. So we'll look at the development lab. And so we have Chase DeLauder. We can look here to see, we can look at generate bat speed. So really just try to figure out what we can do for our pitchers. We got Michael Kennedy here, so we can throw him in and see what we can do to help him out. So his stuff, improve pitch arsenal, I think that's what that one does. I wish it was more direct when you had those where you could see what they are working on or what they could improve upon, but it's not the end of the world. We have Grayson Rodriguez here that we could potentially look at. Let's see who else. So Alberto, we can see what happens when we work him in. He was actually a starting pitcher for us, but we're gonna worry about improving. We'll just throw control in there, even though he doesn't really have much more potential with it. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like if you are working at something, you should have the ability to increase it, or at least the potential to increase it, but I don't know if that's exactly true. Eduardo here, we're gonna look for his quality of contact. That would be a big one to improve. And then we can look to see if there's any other bigger prospects. So we can see Tyler here. We can look for increased pitch movement. since that's his biggest area of potential. So I don't know if this is wrong to do it. So if it is, let me know. But if I'm looking here, I might want to look and improve his control unless it's like maxed out. So I did kind of risk it with one of these guys where I just worked in one area that we already had. Luis here, we can see if we can get, he's pretty well maxed out. Can he play another position? He already kind of can. So we can just look and just see if bat speed works out for him. And then we have someone like this that we can look and maybe really kind of can improve anything. So pitch movement. Probably just that one. And then we can look at our main roster. So we have a lot of slots when we fill up, and I normally would just let the AI kind of do it, but I've been kind of taking more of an active role when working on this. So we're gonna generate bat speed. I feel like I mess it up for some guys, but I don't worry too much about it. I feel like it doesn't really have a crazy positive impact. Can he? Well, he's kind of a utility guy, so he's kind of becoming a productive player. We have Gavin here, who only has 30 stamina. That's kind of confusing. We should have more, but I don't really want to improve his. Let's see, Daniel Espinoza. Let's see if we can just have the AI fill the available slots. We'll cancel, and then we can look to see if there's any sort of goofballs that are being put into here that don't really matter too much, but it looks like it did a pretty decent job of finding potentially useful players. Yeah, one. Sometimes it will throw a player in there that's like a 2-star. That's like, this dude's probably not going to develop. There's no reason to waste that slot with that. And we'll move forward a little bit to see if there's any. So pretty good first baseman prospect. And then 2 kind of whatever guys for a 31-year-old Tim Herron. That could honestly be a potential trade. So Trevor Steven. He's pretty mid last year, $7.5 million. We're just gonna go ahead and void that, and then Emmanuel Clase, we'll go ahead and definitely execute that. See if there's anything. Okay, so he's not increasing our money because I feel like that's just not realistic. I feel like eventually he would, just even through inflation, would have to increase, but that is the problem with being a small team. So I don't really want, like, he's just a good first baseman defensively, which is kind of a useless thing, I should say, for us to have. We're definitely, yeah, we're not even re-signing him, so of course we'll complete that 100%. So that's a great trade for us because we weren't even going to re-up him with his arbitration. So 100% we'll trade him away for one good prospect and then nothing else really. There's random people. Well, we'll go forward a little bit, see if we get any other good trade offers. So decent reliever, nobody, and they want Gavin Williams, who is currently a 3-star. We played well last year, so is there interest for him? So I feel like this is kind of his peak for where he's going to be, so he might just drop off pretty hard after that. And we could potentially even look to just swap him for a guy like this that could be a starting pitcher for us, because we're kind of perpetually looking for that, because that was certainly continued to be a weakness for us. Decent catching prospect, but we don't really need, we have a lot of catching, so we're good in that regard. And there's not really a ton, but he is kind of just like a reliever, which we don't really need that much. So unless someone like this, like we have guys like that could potentially be thrown into the fire, but I'm not exactly sure if there's any of these trades that are really particularly interesting to look at. We don't obviously need a reliever, and those are usually the highest rated people that you can get. And then we can look back up here. So like, we can get someone like this that has some decent potential, but it's not really worth it. We're kind of looking to get someone that we can slot in kind of like right now. So someone for the current thing. Cole Henry here, pretty decent, but still 28, so it's kind of a lateral move. Looking to get a little bit younger if we can, and to find someone that we can almost immediately slot in. So we have someone like this who did not play that well last year, but is cheap and a little bit cheaper, or younger as well, which might be useful for us. And then like this is probably like one of the best prospects we can get, like a 25-year-old, but he's left field. We just don't need outfield. That's the always just a surplus of outfielders, and we just don't need it at all. So we'll look here and see if we can grab someone. Because I feel like I saw someone nice. So Derek Diamond played pretty well on a little bit of experience, and it looked like he was kind of stuck in AAA a lot. And then there's Braxton that's there. So let's see with the Pirates. So where is he at right now? Is he in AAA? So he's on Pittsburgh. So we're going to actually try to trade for both of these players. So this guy's a 2-star, 23-year-old. And then we're going to look at the active roster to see Derek Diamond, throw him in as well. See what it takes to get him on our team. So 100% we can get rid of that guy. So I think it's definitely a good trade for us. We get a 2-star prospect, 2 solid star, 2.5-star starter that we can kind of just throw in, and he has enough stamina. And then we have this 23-year-old who's already 2-star. He's playing at really low levels, but he was playing really well in the first 2 years. So 0.82 and then a 2.12. So seemed, oh, I just went forward. I wanted to actually rehab setback. So he's another 12 months. So that's someone that we might need to throw away as well. I can't believe that's the trade I wanted. Okay, we got to try that again. So jump in here, and we're gonna try to trade Swallowback or whatever, and see if we can do that. Where's Pittsburgh? We'll see if Pittsburgh will offer a similar thing. Did I go past them? No. I just don't know the alphabet. It's no big deal. There we go. So they still want to offer those players. So then we're going to go down, get here. So they're actually willing to just do that trade right now, which means we could try to look for another person potentially. I don't know who else we'd really need other than starting pitching, which someone like Lucas Gill we could kind of throw in and see if we can just throw him some rando, but it looks like they want a little bit too much for him, so we'll look down a little bit more. So there's Jared Jones. I wouldn't mind giving him a more decent prospect for that potentially, but they don't really want, there's just not a ton of variety there to pick someone we're not too excited about, so that is okay. So Tamar Johnson, we can see if we can throw someone pretty mid at them, but no, they just want too much for it. But I feel like this is pretty fair as it stands. So we get an actual starting pitcher, and throw that into there. So then we are vibing with that, and then we need to look at, yeah, so I mean he's already 27, he's already had a setback. It's kind of, honestly, it's going to be his max potential. So even though it is kind of cheese in the system, it is what it is. I mean, typically guys have setbacks and injuries. It's not going to be a whole nother year. It's not like it's Deshaun Watson like retailing an Achilles or something, but we can see if we can get someone, see if there's anyone like crazy good here that we can potentially look at. So like that's might be a decent player, but he's only 40 stamina. We kind of want someone that can actually be a starting pitcher, so we can look here for multiple and see if we can get someone as well. Not particularly, so all right, we'll see what the best we can do. So we might honestly just go with that 3.5-star guy if he's still being offered up, because he is a year younger He's obviously doesn't have a bum arm. So unless there's someone else that really stands out to me, I don't really see anyone that's really kind of crazy that is there. So we're going to go ahead, find our man. We can honestly see if we can get him as well, because that would actually be, so where's he at? He is on the team as well, so we're going to trade here and look at the active roster and then see, because he's a relief pitcher. Oh, Juan Brito, he used to be in our system. If I can find him, forget what his name is. All right, we had to search by overall, and then I believe that it was him. Yeah. Okay. So see if we can throw someone in for him, make him happy. See if we can do that for him. Daniel Espinoza, he actually played well with us and he stayed relatively healthy, but we have this guy right here. It's a perfect guy to throw in for a trade like that. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about that. Like, he's just perpetually going to be hurt, and you know, maybe we get a couple good years out of him, but we kind of want someone that can actually has more potential to play for us. So we're just going to do this right now, and then just kind of move forward a little bit, go a little bit further, we're going to hit here and then go to, all right, you're frustrated, I don't really care. Free agency, so it's going to stop us here at arbitration, and then we'll look at free agency. I don't think any of these guys are going to be worth anything for us. No, so we'll actually go right to there. All right, new Juan Soto, not the Juan Soto I want. All right, go to free agency filings. Oh, there's the decisions. That was weird. It was delayed a couple days. All right, so see if any of these guys are worth anything. So I have the settings turned down to where it is corrected to where only a couple of the international people come into the market. So it's not oversaturated. Before, I just had an error with it. So it was one of the reasons I wanted to reset, was for that reason. But why can't I find free agency? Sometimes I can just not find things. So we have Felix Bautista, who really good reliever, not really solving our problems though of a starting pitcher. We could overpay for someone like Corbin Burns, but I think we still have, oh no, it duplicated. Oh wait, why is there two different? Oh, it's Wilson Contreras and William Contreras. 6 ages of different, both from Venezuela, 60 pound. Okay, so they're literally just different people. All right, I thought it was having a duplication error again. Oh, that was pretty funny. Okay, so don't really have anyone that's like crazy good. That's not like insanely expensive. Like this is just prohibitively expensive for us. So unfortunately, we can't really do much about that. But we can look at the trading block potentially and see if there's anyone that's just chilling there. It doesn't really look like there is, just some relievers, but there's always relievers that are available, and it's not really worth much to trade for them, unfortunately. So I think that's gonna be a good spot to end this video, so you can kind of see, you know, what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to find pitching wherever we can and trying to just throw things together. Unfortunately, our pitching doesn't seem like it's going to improve too much next year. And also, one thing I was kind of playing around with, and it's been working well with hitting, is I've been kind of setting the strategies to be more aggressive here. I don't know if there's things I could play around with here, so probably move that back to normal, and then maybe move that down and see. I have the shifts up. I feel like that's good. And then I turned that down a little bit, kept that everything else the same. But yeah, because when obviously if I ask Craig, he's going to change things around a little bit. But these guys are just too expensive. It's just unfortunate because like I mean, maybe he would be more worth it. No, he's 35 million, and it's just so much money. I mean, like 1 year we could. No, I just don't want to put $37 million into a 39-year-old pitcher. For a little bit less, maybe, but we're going to continue to work in this off season and get through another season, and that will be in the next video. But if you made it to this point, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you all in the next one. Peace.